Hi, welcome back to another Black City Coffee vlog. In this video, we are cupping some very special coffees from our friends over at Introspekt. Yeah, Introspekt. Okay. Our friends over at Introspekt, thank you for these coffees. I'm going to read to you guys what they are. It's a geisha from Tolima region in Colombia. The elevation is 1,800 meters above sea level. Process is washed. Drying method is raised bed, sun dried. Harvest was on April, May of this year. First harvest of this lot varietal. Cool. And then it says, our farm is a part of the Colombian Federation of Coffee Growers Rainforest Alliance and uses almost 99% organic fertilizers, most of which is made on site. All of the coffee is processed and milled on site. Wow, this is cool. So, direct from the farmer, I guess. So we're going to cup these today. I roasted them yesterday on the old Ikawa there. And we did some different profiles. So for this one, he actually separated the pea berries from the regular sized ones. And I'll give you some screenshots of that in a second. But that was kind of cool of him. So we're going to see the pea berries were roasted at a filter light plus plus on the Ikawa. And then the regular size ones, which are, yeah, just a bit more larger than the pea berry sized ones. This was roasted to a light. So we have light on the development and a light roast level. So we're going to cup these and see how they taste. I'm excited. This guy today. Okay. Very fresh, very almost vegetal. So we did go with a little bit of underdeveloped sample roast for this guy. And this one is maybe a little bit more closer to what we would roast as, say, like a production light roast. See, it's a little bit darker too. Wow, that smells really good. It's really fragrant. It's bursting of red and pink, and this one is more red and yellow, I guess. Vegetal and fresh and herbaceous on this one, which is to be expected. That it's going to be a little bit underdeveloped, I guess. So this one has a really jammy, candy-like sweetness underneath. It's just like red, juicy red. Wow. The citrus is lemon for sure. A very, very like a tart plum. Really nice. Okay, cool. Let's get some water on these guys. Ta-da! It's always good to have these, like, just in case. I mineralize my own water, but I'm out right now, so let's just fill one up. So, I've never tried a geisha from Colombia before. I don't think I have. I think all the geishas I've tried were from, I think one was from, like, Nicaragua. I forget. I didn't roast it very well, I don't believe. And then the other one I've tried was from Panama, for sure, by Clutch. And it was pretty incredible. This is a very high quality coffee from Introspekt. Thanks for allowing me to try it. I don't know, it's crazy. Okay, so here's some background. This is their first harvest, so clearly there are some lessons to be learned. I've been roasting batches myself on my stove, and after finally dialing in the temperature and roast time for a perfect medium, I'm beginning to question whether or not these are geisha beans. I'm not getting the floral tea notes that are signature with geisha beans. Let me know. Okay, so here we have a farmer or representative of the farmer roasting them, seeing how, how they can adjust their cultivar, seeing how they can adjust their farming to improve their product. Very floral, tea-like. Very fragrant. It's like perfume. It is like perfume. Isn't that odd? Okay. They look great. The quality of these green is really nice. Now, you said you roasted it to a medium on the stove. Okay. So it's going to be quite hard, I think, to really dial in and be very... So it's going to be really hard to control all the variables of roasting on the stove, I believe. You don't have probes to help you monitor what's going on from the first to second to the last phase. So it's good that you send it out to roasters like me who have just, better tools, right? And it's not that you probably couldn't get great coffee on the stove, but maybe it's not what you're looking for in terms of like, how do I pull out these, flavors that we're hearing so much about. You're doubting if they're geisha. Well, that would have to, I don't know, you'd have to have a conversation with the farmer if you're not the farmer. Some mysteries there. So we're going to wait until about 9 minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to cup these and let these cool down quite a bit, okay? So we'll also take a look at how you're cupping them and tasting them, and maybe if you can do something similar to this style, you'll be able to find or get to the answers that you're looking for. Yeah, we're going to take a little break. We'll come back at around 9 minutes. All right, we're back. Got a little distracted. Let's give these a whirl. Lemon, raspberry, apple, brown sugar, grapefruit, there's a bitterness in there, cinnamon, tea, lemon, tart bright red raspberry, green tea, not black tea, orange, what kind of orange? Blood orange, this is nice, blood orange, but there's a bitterness in here. The bitterness is coming from like the pith of some kind of like lemon, a bitter, the rind of the lemon. The acidity is high, but it's nice. Supported by the sweetness of some kind of like sugar thing. A maple sugar, like a mapley brown sugar, I guess. It's lacking some body. There's a solid bitter note there, which is coming from like the pith, the white part of the citrus, like a lemon. And it's in the finish. I wonder, since this is the pea berry, so they're smaller, I should have roasted this at light and then maybe roasted this larger bean at a light plus plus. You know, we can't control much with the Ikawa. We can only select light, medium, dark. You know, what kind of like development, light, medium, high. So, you know, we do what we can, but you know, my friend, I would say these are definitely a high quality green. Tastes very clean too, you know, with these being washed coffees. I think that's indicative of what you've grown here. We're not getting any of the crazy like big juicy notes here in this light plus plus roast level. It's really delicate at the light level. It's really subtle acidity and very tea-like, very floral, herbaceous, but it's also roasted really light, right? So it's definitely indicative, I think, of a geisha, or in terms of a high quality green washed, something really floral like this. Now when we roast this a little bit more and get really fine-tuned with the roasting, and we can go in and run some production like roasts of this and play with different charge temps, play with different like middle phases, how fast are we getting, how long are we developing this coffee, then I think you can really like find the peak flavor of this coffee. But the bones of this coffee, it's here in the green, it's innate in this coffee, and that there's something special here, I think. Something very tasty, something very special, something very high quality. But yeah, we only had, you know, 100 grams to kind of work with. I think if you have a roaster locally to you who has and you have, you know, some green that you could play with, maybe somebody who has like a 500 gram roaster, something that you can get a larger sample size out of, and then come back to the farm and then like, okay, like how could we make it taste really good? Like kind of maybe work with a local roaster in your area. That way you can really go like, you know, side by side, because roasting these on your stove is really just not going to give you all of that control of the variables that a roaster would be able to control in terms of finding the peak flavor for this particular green, which I already think it's really kind of special. Great flavors in here. Really good. I'm thinking how I would approach it if I had, you know, a kilo of this coffee. It would be like, it's a high elevation coffee. It's quite dense. So I think I would go with a 370 charge. I would see how it would respond and how it would turn around. I would like to develop the middle phase for a solid 3 minutes at least, solid, and then maybe hit a development of a last phase at around maybe 2 minutes and keep it there. And I think like a really standard light roast to just start as a standard to see where this coffee is right there. That would be the first, I think, iteration of production roasting this coffee, and then coming back to the cupping table, letting it rest a day, documenting your notes, documenting the aroma, the fragrance, the flavors, the body, all that stuff, your overall impression, and then just do another one where you go, okay, say it was, maybe it was still too light, maybe kind of showing flavors like this, like a little just too much tea and maybe not enough body and zing to this cup, even though that's very good also if you like, you know, very light bodied floral tea-like coffees. You could definitely go this route, you know. There's a really niche market of coffee nerds that like it this way for sure. And throw some ice in there, it'd be fantastic. But I always like a little bit of body, a little bit more zing, and like a little bit more body to the cup. I want to feel like I'm drinking coffee and not tea. So it would just kind of depend on who your customer is, I guess, and then kind of tailoring your methods of, you know, assessing this coffee in that way. You know, it's got to line up. You know what I mean? So, really good coffee, Introspekt. This is nice. I mean, thank you very much. I'm going to be enjoying this very high quality coffee for a couple days at least. And then seeing how, you know, we waited 24 hours to cup this, seeing how it's going to change in the next day. I'm going to just leave it open like this and see how it changes and evolves. But that's, you know, that's the fun of coffee. It's always changing. It's never stagnant. So, wonderful. I think it's great. You know, we're in our 20th minute right now. There's a bitter note there that just tells me that I think this is, you know, if we took it into production roasting, I would be trying to fix that. I'd be trying to fix that bitterness. I'd be trying to create more sweetness instead, right? So I think it's that final phase that you need to really kind of be mindful of, really developing the middle phase to at least like 3 minutes at least, I'm thinking. You know, this is all theory and conjecture. But given that it's washed coffee, it's high elevation from Colombia, can stand up to some heat on the charge, and then developing it kind of standardly, and then seeing how the finish affects this flavor and this sort of bitterness that's happening in the cup for me. It's quite present here. It's sort of drying, sort of like, think like the tannins of wine, or the strength of black tea that's been stewing a little bit too long, so like that. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'd be like, can I make it better? You know, as a roaster, I'd be asking myself that question. But really great, bright, juicy red, apple, raspberry, lemon. Very good, really good. And then with this one again, just tea-like. It's like a green tea with a little bit of like raspberries, really light bodied, kind of floral. What kind of floral? I'd say something herby, like maybe not the flower per se, because that'd be really fragrant, but maybe like the stems of it, but just like in a garden, like herbs. Herbs. I don't know. That's all I can. I don't have my smelling powers today. I ran out. This one's really nice. I like it. Yeah. There's definitely some more finagling and more fine tuning in the roast that I believe needs to be done before the best flavors can be pulled from here. But in general, I think these coffees would be scoring like 86 and above, honestly. Okay. And I'm not certified or anything like that, so don't, you know, take that with a grain of salt. But if I were to submit these to be graded, I would bet 86 and above. Okay. All right. Introspekt, thank you for the wonderful coffees. I will be enjoying this for the next couple of days. And I hope that was helpful to you, you know, in terms of like finding out if these were geishas or not, or like what's going on, or, you know, all the questions that you may have as maybe a producer or a farmer of this green that you have. I think it's special. Okay, we'll see you in the next one. If you want to send me your coffees to cup, you can do so. Address is in the description. And thank you so much. I get to share this with you. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.